Hey guys, Huz here, bringing you another commentary. This time I'm playing Jayce. Now, I was supposed to be going Jayce mid this game versus Riven, but let's just say this game doesn't turn out the way we planned. This video is basically really emphasizing the point that no matter how far behind you get or how unlikely it is to win the game, you can always win it. So the reason I picked Jayce into Riven initially was obviously Jayce is a pretty good brawler versus Riven anyway, but having the range advantage would be great having, getting CS, that type of thing, poke. Now, one thing to note in this game are Nunu, who's Feljef. Let's just say his three computers were playing up. He tried to log in League of Legends on his main desktop, his main gaming machine, and it didn't work. He tried on his laptop, and then he tried on a third PC, all being really, dodgy, didn't really know what was going on. But then eventually, later in the game, he does connect, but it is about 5 to 10 minutes in the game. So we do actually go behind somewhat. But as I said, this video is basically showing you guys how you can still win. Right now you can see position-wise that I'm near the mid lane. I am still at this point thinking I should be mid lane. But then right now I make the call to my AD carry, who is Vayne, saying, let me go bot, I'll 2v1, you go mid versus Riven, as Vayne can lane against Caitlyn, although it is a very hard lane for her. And obviously with the advantage in range with Caitlyn and Thresh, but also the poke, the Vayne would basically be, useless. Because in the end of the day, a Vayne is a hyper carry. You need the Vayne to do well for your team to do well. So I do sacrifice basically my early game to allow her to do well. Now, some people say, yeah, Jayce is a very good 2v1 champion. He is, but let's just say I do not have the runes and masteries for this. I expected to go against Riven, so I went for a standard 21-9 masteries, where if you're 2v1ing as a Jayce, you want to go 9-21, be a lot more tanky, have a lot more sustain, that type of thing. So I don't have that sustain, I do not have that tankiness. So I am heading down bot lane, but then I do notice their Thresh has warded here, so I don't really want to walk all the way through river. They could engage on me. Just end up walking around the long way, and basically I want these guys to push to my tower so I can actually just CS under tower. Mid lane, not much going on, and as you can see, yeah, Feljef has left the game. Obviously, as I said, his computers have been bugging out, but don't worry, he will connect later in the game. Top lane, Udyr versus Singed, Singed a very popular pick, and Udyr a somewhat, pick that's starting to get more up there. He is normally a jungler, but Eben, who is our top lane, does enjoy playing him top now and then. So as you can see, the lane is pushing, and right now my mentality is I just really want to survive, but versus a Caitlyn and a Thresh is quite hard to do so, even as a Jayce. Now, starting items, I did go to Fortitude Elixir. It does help me, every now and then, just to have a little bit more health boost. Thresh, as you can see, is poking me down. I'm still level 1 at this point, where them two are level 2. So obviously they are at quite a big advantage over me right now. Now, Jayce is a champion I quite enjoy. I got him on release. I think I bought the bundle with this skin, as is my favourite skin. If you've got the Valentine skins, fine for you, but I kind of like the male Samus look, obviously being blue, not gold. But yeah, I do like Jayce. He's a good champion. He works very well in comps, basically tied in with Udyr. It was a reasoning behind why I kind of chose the Jayce in mid anyway, as an Udyr is a champion that loves to chase people, and a Jayce can provide a little bit more speed for the Udyr to do that. Cho'Gath is coming bot, just seeing if we can do anything right now, but I don't believe we can. The lanes reset basically bad to mid lane, the Thresh is warding the river, so just going back to basically farming as normal. Now, the build on Jayce, obviously Muramana, I believe, is a key item on Jayce, especially now that the item has been changed, that it does AD damage, not MR damage. With eventually your armor pen that your items will get, if you get a brutalizer or if you get a last whisper, your damage will be doing quite a lot, quite a high damage. I'm just trying to put a bit of damage onto the Thresh. Obviously he was in a group of minions there, so it allows my damage to actually do quite a lot. But then I don't make it now, but basically, yeah, they are continuing to poke me. I'm trying to get as much pokers on the Thresh as I can, but still unsuccessful to get them off me completely. Basically, the Thresh is just waiting for his hook. He's trying to hook me in to try and get first blood. So at this point, I'm trying to stay within minions, trying to survive, but obviously, as you can see, both of them are auto-attacking, poking me, which is actually quite hard to deal with. I'm staying back, trying not to die, but then here comes the inevitable hook into me and first blood. I do pop my Fortitude Elixir, which makes me survive like a second longer, but still I do die. So that's a pretty damn bad death on my part. One, for dying in the first place, but look how much CS and XP I'll be missing from this death. But then if we look into the mid lane, that the Vayne is actually doing an okay job against Riven. She is ahead in CS. So, you know, nothing... It's not terrible, but it's not great at the same time. At this point, our Nunu still has not connected, as you can tell by him, well, not a reconnect coming on the screen. And obviously him still standing in base. Now, I've returned to bot lane, obviously, just trying to farm some more, trying to make sure I still am in this game, and I've picked up my Tear of the Goddess at this point. Now, it's the only... I only had this amount of gold available. Now, right now, you'll see that if the Caitlyn is left alone, I do a lot of damage to that Caitlyn already. You know, I'm maxing Q as Jayce, which is, you know, a generic thing to max, and then maxing E secondly, eventually when I get enough, you know, skill points to do that. And yeah, Jayce is a good champion. He's a really good brawler in melee stance or range stance. I take the trap, get hooked in, so that's not great right now. Trying to get away. Poke her a bit. As you can see, still I could do quite a lot of damage to her. And I actually decided to do an early base, as obviously I don't have any sustain with potions and that. So I may as well base right now. Let's actually, we'll at the bottom we'll match up everybody. So Thresh goes with Nunu. Vayne goes with Caitlyn. Jayce goes with Riven, that's okay. And them two swap. So there we go. Everybody's lined up now, guys. So if you want to look at CS, you can just simply look at the bottom and you'll be able to, you know, tell who's versus who. Obviously, the lanes aren't perfect right now. The Vayne is against the Riven, where she is actually, you know, ideally looking to have the same CS as the Caitlyn. So as you can see, my lane opponent that would have been the Riven, I am behind the Riven by half. And as you can see, I go on the Caitlyn right now, trying to actually get a kill. I go quite aggressive, and I still think I can get this kill. I ward up, and I missed the Q. That was quite a fail on my part. She ults me, but it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And she actually flashes for me as well, which is quite odd. Easily dodge her Q. And right now, I'm still thinking I can get a kill on her if, you know, I can get the right situation. 3-man gank mid. I did call SS, but obviously he does not have any wards around mid, apart from... no, he doesn't have any at all. So that's kind of a kill, basically quite an easy kill for the enemy team. Caitlyn, I did manage to get really low with an EQ combo, but unluckily not, you know, not getting the kill. And right now they have awarded our blue buff and it's spawned, so yeah, not a great situation for us. They're going to probably get our blue. I do decide to go and have a little, you know, gander over there, seeing if I can steal it with an EQ combo, and we'll see if I'm successful. Now, Thresh, I don't know, he might have saw me, I'm not entirely sure, but he does move in the way, which is unfortunate for me, as if he didn't, then the EQ might have stolen that if I were to time it at the right time. Top lane, our Udyr is ahead in farm and has not based yet, where the Singed has actually based. So if the Udyr wanted to base, he'd probably want to push up the top farm and then go back and get items. Now still, it may be like many of you may think that I'm out of this game right now, I'm not very strong, but I'm still fairly confident I can kill this Caitlyn 1v1. Obviously, with the Thresh coming back into lane, that kind of makes it a bit more their-sided. But, you know, I am technically a bruiser AD, so I am fairly confident that I can kill this Caitlyn if she were to leave, you know, be left alone, and that's actually what I was hoping for. Now still, it's 9 minutes in the game and our Nunu has still not connected. And as you can see, we're behind in gold by, you know, 1.5 odd K. So you'd think that, you know, the game's not totally over right now, but it's not looking great, especially if the Nunu did not reconnect. Now, many people who go in ranked or go in normals, whatever, as soon as someone doesn't connect, they're thinking, oh god, it's 4v5, it's over. Yeah, sure, we've given them 2 kills, but trust me when I say it's not over until the game is over. If your friend or whoever it is on your ranked team, whatever, reconnects, you can always still win the game. You have to remember they will gain XP really quick and they'll be back in, you know, in the game in no time. Bam, Jeff reconnects, and I'm not entirely sure if he reconnects straight away right now. Obviously, as I said, his PCs have been acting up, so we see if he starts moving anytime soon. Now, the items I've picked up is Boots of Speed, 3 health potions and 1 ward, just having a little bit more sustain and a little bit more escape with the boots. Picking up some farm with my EQ combo, obviously, and yeah, just returning back to lane, trying to pick up a little bit of CS when I can. Obviously trying to stay away from their poke, and there's a hook there. Now, if he actually jumped on me, that would actually be quite good, as they are not tanky enough yet to tank towers. And here we go. Jeff has bought boots, so it would think that he's actually back in the game. Quite good damage onto the Thresh. As you can see, I still do damage, as I've been saying, so I'm not out of this game right now, although I am quite far behind in CS than my normal lane opponent would be. But yeah. Basically, to win this game, we have to prolong it so I actually can get to a useful stage, which I think we managed to do quite well. Now, obviously, they're hanging around for Dragon, and then this Volibear is actually fairly squishy at this point. He's decided to go for the Madred's build. Now, one thing to say about Volibear, if you do decide to max E on Volibear, then it's best to go Spirit Stone. If you want to max Q, then it's probably best to go Madred's. Or even if you want to max W, then go Madred's. There's not much point going Madred's and using E, as basically you'll be not using the mana and everything, well, you'll be using the mana from E, as that will be your main spell damage, but then you won't have the sustain with the Spirit Stone to back it up. And there we go. Jeff is in the mid lane right now, so we are at 5v5, but obviously Jeff being level 1, they might be able to focus him quite, they're probably going to, if they are, well, it's not really, like, if you have someone that's got just reconnected into the game, it's not of scumbag of them to, kill them. Now, Cho'Gath does flash, but then we meet, like, all of them. Volibear's waiting in this bush to try and go a 3v1 situation. So, yeah, not great for us, this whole trade. Yeah, not great. And Singed up top lane does manage to kill Udyr as well. So, at this point, we are 4-0. Even, this game does not look great. Now, they're going to get this bot tower, which in a way helps me, but in a way helps them. They will get the global gold of around 1,000 for the team. But it does actually free up my bot lane so I can just have free farm. If we look at the CS, 92 to 104, but if we're looking directly of who they're lane, very even between the Vayne and the Riven, so the Riven's actually done a pretty damn good job. Jungle-wise, our Cho'Gath is slightly ahead, obviously, but the Volibear, has 2 assists. Support-wise, obviously, I'm not even going to mention supports, as our support has not really been in the game at all. And top lane, very even, although the Singed has got 1 kill on the Udyr. And bot lane, I'm way behind of the Riven. So as you can see, I'm not auto-attacking this CS. I basically want to keep it as, as close to my tower as possible, just so I'm a bit more, safe, and I can just free farm and get back into this game. Now, many people who realise that when you're behind, you should start building quite tanky, as that's generally what you do, and that's a big tip I will actually alliterate. If you're a top laner or even a jungle, and you're not doing great, don't build damage, build tanky. As you can see, they've killed the Nunu, which obviously is quite easy for them, as the Nunu's only level 4, and now they're going for more kills with the Vayne and the Volibear. Good cleanse for the Vayne there, and I'm coming into the side, seeing if we can pick up a kill or 2. And then the Riven goes quite deep as well to try and get the Volibear. Good E from the Vayne, and we're seeing if we can still kill. Now, I'm in the mix, just, poking as much as I can. And jump on the Vayne, trying to get her. And Vayne triple kill. So that's really good right now. Yeah, it would be nice if I could have picked up one of them kills, but honestly, the Vayne, who would probably carry this game the best, got the triple kill. So pretty good on our team part. Obviously, they did actually go quite deep. They were quite confident that they could have killed us quite easily then, but obviously we showed them that that's not the case. I've picked up myself a Vamp set there just for a bit more sustain in lane, and I believe that will eventually build into a Bloodthirster. Look how much farm I have in my tier. I've got 304 out of 750, which honestly isn't great at this point. I should actually have more tier stacks. Obviously, this game has not been exactly a normal game so far. but we are still behind, obviously only by about 2 odd K now. We're slowly making our way back. Obviously them 4 kills to 6 now really does help, and I'm picking up our blue buff. Now we see that the Caitlyn's gone mid and the Thresh is actually top. 3 people are top trying to kill this Udyr. And we see Riven has gone bot lane. Now I'm actually fairly happy that Riven's bot lane. Although I'm 2 levels behind, I still think that I am fairly okay versus her in lane. Ward up Dragon just so we have a bit more vision, and then I returned to bot lane. Good poke on the Riven there with the EQ combo. Now you will see a Jayce occasionally use Q without the E. Right, as you can see, the Riven wanted to engage with me, but straight away I just hit baseball bat her away with my melee E. I don't really want to just fight her in a flat out brawl right now, as obviously she would win, but I just basically just get her away and continue to farm. Now she's basically trying to get me behind, like go behind me to try and pick up a kill, which is probably reasonable. She probably thinks she's stronger than me right now, which arguably she is. But as you can see, I still do a lot of damage, so I'm fairly confident that I may be able to get a kill on this Riven. Right now she's half health, where I'm basically full. And yeah, I get really low. I could have got a kill there, but unfortunately, you know, I don't go all in. Because I am fairly squishy at this point, so Cho'Gath is coming in from the side to try and get the final pickup on her. Pickup, I'm not sure if that actually hit, but I do get an assist, and Cho'Gath gets the kill. So that again is helping me get back into this game, having 4 assists now. If we look into the gold, I've got just under 4,000, and the Riven has 4,500, who you could argue is the person that I am going up against in the gold and CS mark. Now that is also a dragon opportunity for us. Now we don't need our mid lane. They are just, you know, they're fending off the AD carry and Thresh in mid, where me and Cho'Gath decide to do this dragon. Volleybet obviously sitting here trying to get a kill, and they actually do a good combo with hook and everything. Pretty damn good gank by the enemy team onto the Vayne. So right now we have actually brought it back to 1.5k where the lead was only 2k. So we're in an okay situation at this point. Not amazing, but we're slowly, as I said, making our way back into this game. We do actually tank up a Caitlyn trap there, which is not the best thing to do when they're still in lane. We managed to get a pretty good hook and flip on top of the Nunu, and they pick up another kill. So right now, if the Caitlyn was alone, I'd probably be able to easily kill her alone. But obviously the Thresh being her bodyguard this whole game, I was unable to do that. In this game I didn't CS amazingly. Just trying to communicate with my team quite a lot this game. Vayne coming in for a gank here through lane, but obviously unsuccessful in getting a kill. Now bot lane is pushed, so I decide to go back and get this farm, as obviously I need it. So yeah, not much to say. The game's slowed down a little bit, not much ganks going on right now. But yeah, slowly making our way back into the game. If we look how much the goal difference is now, I've got 4,700 and the Riven's got 5,000. So I am nearly even with her. Obviously, she had a massive lead on me at the start, as she was nearly double CS and obviously a kill ahead. Now these three are pushing the mid tower, just seeing if they can create any pressure anywhere. Obviously, I'm just free farming bot lane, and I pick up my BF sword that will eventually build into a bloodthirster. Now, one thing I have to say, like I did say earlier, if you are behind, you generally do want to build tanky. But at this point, I'm not feeling incredibly behind. And as a Jayce, I don't want to be in the middle of a team fight anyway. I want to generally be around the edge. Since tries to flash away from the Udyr. Udyr flashes after him and picks up a nice kill there, so well done to our Udyr. Now I return to mid lane, and that right now this will be a 4v4 situation. And now with the Thresh moving away, we're outnumbering them. So it breaks out of 5, but as you can see, I am fairly squishy. The Caitlyn does do a lot of damage to me, so I decide to back off. Thresh coming back into lane to make this again a 4v4 situation. And as you can see, the Caitlyn does do a lot of damage right now. She has got her eye edge, so that would probably explain why she's doing so much damage. So right now I don't really know what they're doing. They're trying to push the wave maybe to get this tower, but you know, we're not completely weak. With this delay, Udyrs managed to pick up the top tower, which is pretty good. Cho'Gath trying to get the stun as Caitlyn would have been moving into the lantern. Good poke on there, and yeah, she's actually overextending somewhat. So we just got to be, you know, a bit careful, or not us be careful. They've got to be a bit more careful, as we should have gone on her at that point. More poke and she's nearly dead. That's the good thing about Jayce. His his EQ combo is really good. He's ulting me for whatever reason, missed the stun, and basically I'm waiting for my EQ combo, and bam, there we go. Free kill on the Caitlyn, first kill of the game for me, and that basically relieves the pressure onto this mid tower. Unfortunately, we don't have many minions, so I do believe we may have to back off. Good hook onto the Vayne there, and they do actually pick her up. So well played by this Thresh. I do hit the combo, but obviously he's actually quite tanky right now. He's actually got a Seeker's Arm Guard for a bit more AP and a bit more armor, which is actually quite an unusual pick on a Thresh. But nonetheless, you know, I get another kill on the Thresh, pretty good. And I basically make my way out, but then the Riven ult, which is an execute. It will do more damage like a Garen ult the lower you are. So, yeah, she manages to pick up the kill on me. Top lane is pushed, so Eben's just pushing it back out as quick as he can. He's obviously gone Tiger stance as a top lane Udyr. Now this bot lane is starting to push, so this is a pretty good farm for when I get back alive. Now Nunu's level 7, he's starting to get back into this game. Obviously really quite slowly. The Thresh who is against him is level 10, so he is 3 levels behind. But still, you know, he will slowly make his way back into this game. So I res here and I pick up my Bloodthirster. So right now I'm actually at a fairly strong situation when I farm up this Bloodthirster. Obviously blue's just spawned, so I'm going to head over and take the blue. Eben trying to get there, blue trying to do a bit of counter jungling, has been spotted by, you know, the enemy team. He gets one exhaust, then he is kind of getting surrounded on, which is unfortunate for him. Runs around the Caitlyn trap and continues to run like the crazy man bear pig that he is. They're still trying to go for him. But yeah, well played to the Udyr. He doesn't get the enemy blue, but he actually does get their exhaust and maybe one flash. I'm not entirely sure. No, he doesn't get a flash, but you know, he gets an exhaust for nothing, so well played to him. Bottom lane, Vayne pushing, getting a free tower, and myself just in mid lane with blue buff just stacking up my Bloodthirster. Now these guys are quite overextended here, they have no vision, so I'm making my way, seeing if we can do anything right now. Quite good poke on, obviously the Caitlyn, you know, getting quite poked down, and here we go, a little team fight breaks out, 3v3. Feast goes off, and you know, we're still trying to get a kill. I get one of them, trying to make my way out right now, and I get flipped back into the Caitlyn ult. Well played by the Singed, realizing that he needed to flip me. Right now the kills are even, like, they're starting to get more even, but we're still behind in gold, and Vayne's going in for the kill here. Good wall, a good E into the wall, trying to pick up the kill, and well played by our Vayne. Now Riven in bot lane is pushing up this wave, a quite big wave is pushing, and I believe I may pick this up eventually when I get back alive. So my items right now, I picked up my Boots of Lucidity, as obviously I like to poke with EQ combo. It is doing quite a lot of damage to them, as we've seen throughout this video, and I also pick up a longsword that will eventually build into a brutalizer. So I'm alive right now, and I'm heading towards the farm bot lane. I believe Jeff, who is our Nunu, also just comes in range of XP, as obviously he does need XP this game as he is behind. Pick up more CS. Obviously, the Riven is still ahead of me by quite somewhat. You know, if you're behind your lane opponent, then you haven't done a very good job in CSing. Obviously, there are certain champions that should always do well in CS, that like a Caitlyn, that type of thing. But obviously, if you guys have watched this from the beginning, you'll know that I was in a 2v1 situation, as this game was kind of odd early on. So my EQ combo right now is quite easily, you know, just pushing or killing the wave straight away. And right now we're just basically waiting for 5 to group up. Obviously their Caitlyn has picked up double buffs, but still, as you can see, if I keep landing them, especially with my new CDR with Boots of Lucidity, I will do quite a lot of damage. Now they are putting the ult onto Nunu as he is the lowest level, but still I wouldn't really put it onto a Nunu as he is fairly tanky even though he is behind in levels. Now, this Caitlyn in this game is actually getting fairly cocky. She's not staying behind her team. She's not, you know, doing anything that she should. Team fight breaks out. I'm in the middle of it, tanking up tower, so quite bad on myself. But me dying right now does actually enable us to pick up a 1-for-1 trade, or nearly 2-for-1, obviously, with the Caitlyn nearly dying at the back. So the team fight continues. The Volibear trying to get to our Vayne. Good kiting by our Vayne. Thresh actually flashes on top of our Vayne trying to kill him, but as you can see, Vayne is just starting to wreck things. Vayne flashing in as well to try and finish the Volibear, but Udyr just manages to pick up the kill. So again, a really good team fight, us turning the tide of this game where it started really bad, and now we're still, although behind in gold, we're about to become in the lead with picking up this first mid tower. So as you can see, guys, we're now ahead of them in both gold and kills, and obviously if you know, the start of this game, we were playing 4v5 with our support not being in the game for the first 10 odd minutes. So pretty good going by us, you know, just turning this game around for the better. And these guys decide to back off. Obviously, their team is starting to respawn. Now, if you look at what items I've got now, I've actually just picked up my Muramana. Perfect item on Jayce, really good. Adds a lot of bonus damage to him. And yeah, just generally a good item. See, he's got a lot better on him since the change. Dragons just spawned, so just heading over there to help kill it. A Riven coming over to try and stop us doing dragon. Where she's alone, so, you know, look how much damage I can do now. I am just chunking her like hell. Now, she can chunk me as well, but honestly, I'm not that fussed. My team's around. And my Vayne's starting to come in, and the Udyr is starting to come in, where their Caitlyn is top. So this is a team fight we want to continue. Bam, Galzuk is on a killing spree. We decide just to go for dragon. But as you can see, my damage has actually increased somewhat, and I've only got a Bloodthirster and a Muramana. So Jayce is a champion that can deal a load of damage. Now Caitlyn is just pushing up top tower, as you know, she's not with her team, which is questionable, as if they stayed as a unit, they may have been able to win that team fight there. Blue's just spawned, and I just managed to pick that up, and then I decide to base. I've got 800 gold, so I do believe I pick up 2 more longswords, which then will build into my brutalizer. I do pick up quite a late brutalizer this game, compared to what you normally do, but obviously this game has not been a normal game, and I find myself actually being quite behind in this game. Caitlyn being overextended, she doesn't manage to pick up that tower, and I do believe she actually does die here. So not really good by the Caitlyn. She should just stay with her team, and she'll be a lot more useful. Now this immediately gives us Baron pressure, as obviously the main damage source with Caitlyn has just died. And we're just walking through their jungle, just trying to see if we can do anything. I have vision of their small golem there, trying to just get their blue. I hit it over the wall thinking it would finish it, but then the Vayne picks it up. So unfortunate for me not picking up another blue buff to refresh, but oh well. It's okay having it on the fed Vayne. The Syndra's actually heading bot lane as it is pushing. This is a pretty good situation for us. This is one of the reasons we actually started Baron, as the bot lane will be doing tower damage. I'm just blocking the Thresh as much as I can. A team fight ensues. We get the Baron, obviously with the Cho'Gath having 1,000 damage onto his feast. It's quite an easy Baron for us. Riven trying to finish me off but is unsuccessful. I get a double kill and we move over to finish the Thresh. So I've decided to go push up the top tower, obviously with Baron. Generally with Baron, if you're not all full health, you want to go buy. All of you may have a little bit of gold from the Baron, and if a team fight's just happened, then you should have gold from kills. So right now, as you can see, I've got 1200 gold. Vayne has 3,300, which is a lot of gold, and Cho'Gath has over 1,000, which again is quite a lot of gold just to have in your inventory as a jungler. Pushing up top lane, and they actually do go quite deep into the enemy base and do manage to pick up the Caitlyn, which does pick up the ace. Once more, I'm just keep pushing the top tower, the top wave, sorry, obviously it is already pushed. Probably will be going for this tower relatively soon. I have quite good escape mechanics on Jayce, as well as just general damage. As you can see, most of their team is actually heading my way to try and pick up a kill on myself. I do actually go back in to get the kill, and then I make my escape. Never going to catch a Jayce if they don't have Ghost or some sort of, maybe a Singed will be able to catch a Jayce with his ultimate, but yeah. Now, I'm not entirely sure why these guys just didn't use the lantern. It would be a much quicker escape. I'm basing right now and I pick up my Brutalizer, and that is actually a pretty damn good item on Jayce as it gives you extra CDR. And I also pick up myself a Giant Spell, as obviously as you've seen throughout this video I am fairly squishy compared to the rest of their team, so this Giant Spell will actually help me somewhat to survive. They found the Volibear and they started to engage on him, and that's a nice free kill for our Vayne. Making my way down mid lane, we're starting to go in the siege, kind of mode. Obviously, Vayne is not a siege champion. She's a very, aggressive, team fight orientated, protect me and I'll kill everything type of champion. Where Jayce is a much more, I can siege. Now that was just a Q and an E, and I get her to half health. It's pretty good, damage not on me right now. Killing the Thresh there, we're able to pick up the free first tower of the game, or in their base, sorry, and we also managed to get the inhib. Then we decide to go top lane just to get this. Our Cho'Gath is relatively tanky right now, so he is able to tank a tower. Managed to get good AoE CC onto the Caitlyn, and I managed to pick up the kill myself. The Volibear goes for me to flip me, but yeah, basically just melts in the middle of a fight. I help the Vayne secure the kill, obviously with my EQ combo, but she manages to pick up the final hit for the kill. So right now, guys, we're about to win this game, and obviously if you watch from the start, then you'll see that a game can always be turned, even if you start with negative numbers. Obviously it was a 4v5 at the start, but we still managed to pick up the win. This is quite funny. The Thresh does have Zhonya's, but baseball bat out. I don't know how that exactly worked. He did flash behind me, but then my baseball bat obviously was used before he could... the animation was used before he flashed, so therefore he still went the way I wanted him to. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys found it useful. It is a game that was turned heavily because, we worked as a team, started creating kills, and yeah, turned the game and protected our Vayne. So I hope you guys enjoyed this and keep playing League of Legends.